Billings woman charged after repeatedly driving at a religious group.
She made the comment, and I quote, "I'm in a Jeep, should I just run them over?"
But is it a hate crime? We look into it.
Left behind bars or not.
What is their history? What have they done in the past?
We dive into reasons why some criminals sit in jail while others are let go.
Plus, new clues emerge.
I think that was the last time she was seen alive, really.
For the first time, we see body cam footage of a missing Wyoming woman.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea Lutz. A Billings woman accused of repeatedly driving into a group of people in downtown Billings on Saturday pleads not guilty to 9 felony charges.
55-year-old Genevieve Currid appeared in court today accused of targeting an extremist religious group after a conflict with one of the men. Well, the question now, is this a possible hate crime?
Tonight, our Alina Howder dives into that question as the FBI seeks the answer.
Hate crimes are on the rise here in Montana and across the country, and the FBI is now looking into an incident that happened here on North 27th Street on Saturday. Police say a woman drove through a religious group, and many are asking whether what happened here is a hate crime.
She was just, should I just go run them over with my Jeep? And none of us thought she was serious, and she did it.
Sarah Gebhardt was one of the few who saw firsthand what happened in this Albertsons parking lot Saturday. She was working at the convenience store across the street when 55-year-old Genevieve Currid came in, appearing intoxicated, complaining about the group demonstrating along the street.
I've heard a lot of opinions about how they think she was being racist and hating on the religion. I want to make it clear that that wasn't what she was upset about. She was upset about the exclusion of a certain race from what they were saying.
Gebhardt didn't feel comfortable talking about what happened next on camera, but says Currid proceeded to drive at the group not once, but several times.
I actually went out to the corner to try and see if I could get her attention and tell her to stop, but she didn't look my way.
Police say those demonstrators were members of Israel United in Christ, a group that the Anti-Defamation League says is a prominent sect of the Black Hebrew Israelites movement, which espouses a theory that Jews aren't really Jewish, claiming instead the only true Jews are people who descended from Africa or other continents of color.
In the past, these groups have compared Jews to the devil, have blamed them for world events, and have really just, unfortunately, advanced anti-Semitism more generally.
And that makes this a complicated situation as authorities investigate whether Currid's actions, which were possibly motivated by a hate group, rise to the level of being a hate crime.
Their race, their religious beliefs, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation. We have to be able to prove that someone committed a violent act against someone because they're a member of a protected class.
ADL doesn't feel that this needs to be investigated as a hate crime. We don't feel that it is necessarily a hate crime. We're just sort of assessing.
The FBI is now reviewing the case, and only time will tell whether the 55-year-old could face even more serious charges. But one thing is certain, hate crimes are on the rise here in Montana and beyond.
We're seeing the highest levels of hate crimes in at least 20 years.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
An 18-year-old man is charged with assault with a weapon for his alleged role after bullets were fired on Billings Southside Monday night. Rusty Limberhand is one of 3 people arrested in connection with that incident in the 300 block of Jackson Street. The other 2 were minors and taken into youth services. Charging documents say a man alerted police to the initial shooting, and officers noticed the teens running into a nearby home. Police removed all the suspects from the home and also recovered 3 guns, one of which had been stolen.
We've seen several high-profile crimes in Billings recently, from teens involved in shootings to this, highly visible vandalism at the Billings airport. In this case, the suspect was released, and that sparked a new community discussion. Why are some suspects released to await their next court appearance while others are held behind bars on bonds that sometimes exceed several $100,000? MTN's Jackie Coffin takes a closer look.
Signs of a recent vandalism are still visible here at Billings Logan Airport after a 27-year-old man allegedly broke windows, spray painted, and even tried to start a fire on Monday. Following his initial arrest, he is no longer in jail, ordered out by a judge.
It's hereby ordered the defendant shall be released on his own recognizance.
When a crime is committed,
You've been charged with count 1, arson.
the person charged faces a judge to enter a plea and hear the options for detention or release.
An attorney is being appointed to represent you, sir.
Sometimes it's a high dollar bond, like in this recent homicide case.
Your bond is $1 million.
If the accused can't pay that bond, they will remain in jail. Other cases, like that of 27-year-old Jared Saffold, who is charged with arson, attempted arson, and criminal mischief, shows a person being held in jail released with strict terms.
Not to go to the airport.
With the expectation that they'll be at their next hearings.
I think a lot of it is not only whether or not they're a risk to the community or if they're going to flee, from prosecution, is what is their history? What have they done in the past?
Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder has seen many cases move through court that started with an arrest through his office.
If somebody is noted for assaulting people and that's what they happen to be in there for, chances are they're going to be a little bit more strict.
While judgments vary case by case, Sheriff Linder says factors like previous criminal history, flight risk, threat to the community, and occasionally space in the jail.
Or they'll get an email from our commander down there saying, we're at 620 right now, so use discretion when you are going to either remand somebody or however we're going to handle the situation, and they're good about that.
Recommendations on detention, bail, and more come from both the county attorney's office and public defenders.
Your Honor, the state is recommending that Mr. Saffold be released on his own recognizance.
But it is ultimately the sole decision of the judge. In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
Tonight, new clues in the case of a missing Wyoming woman. Katie Ferguson went missing in early October, with family and friends fearing the worst. Now, police body cam footage from Arkansas shows the last known time Ferguson was seen. That was back in early October. Our Haley Monaco has been following this case and has the latest.
A little over 2 weeks ago, we first brought you the story of Katie Ferguson, a missing Wyoming woman whose story stretches far beyond the surrounding states after she vanished on a road trip back to Wyoming from Alabama.
What's your name?
Catherine.
Ferguson. Catherine
Ferguson. I think that was the last time she was seen alive, really.
On October 5th in Truman, Arkansas, police body cam shows 33-year-old Katie Ferguson sitting in the passenger seat of her boyfriend's car, 26-year-old Adam Avalis Jr. Their 2 young kids are also there. Heading back to Cody, Wyoming from Alabama.
My mom thought she looked scared, but honestly, I think she looked like she didn't look good. I think she looked like she had maybe, just was tired.
The video shows the officer approach.
Okay. Well, I was just seeing the door open and looked suspicious, so I had to come check it out.
The last known time Katie was seen.
I think she looked worn out, and with Everly crying in the background, Adam was like, "Be quiet," and he was kind of just a jerk.
Say it again.
Arkansas an ID state?
Is it an ID state?
Must the ID state?
Well, I just need to verify you.
I can't help but think if the police officer looked more into what was happening there, if she would still be with us.
The body cam footage surfaced thanks to a public records request from a Texas-based nonprofit called Solve the Case, dedicated to helping find missing persons. Detective Aaron Benzik, the president of the nonprofit, says it shows important details.
So we know something between October 5th and then October 9th in Texas where a stop happens, and this projectile-like defect in the door is found. Katie's not found in the vehicle.
That defect, family says, was a bullet hole covered with duct tape. Avalis had been pulled over for erratic driving in Texas, but continued on his way to Wyoming, where he was eventually arrested on unrelated charges. Police found his car, along with dried blood in the passenger seat. Katie's family is awaiting DNA results.
I want to be the voice for my sister, be a voice for my sister because she doesn't have one.
Family fears Katie is dead, but is urging anyone who has information that can help bring her home to contact the Park County Sheriff's Department in Cody.
We want to keep the momentum going so the search doesn't ever stop until she's found.
I think closure would help the healing process so much.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
A beloved Billings nonprofit who partners veterans with dogs can do even more good after a pretty hefty donation. Governor Greg Gianforte paid a visit today to Dog Tag Buddies with a large check in tow. The governor gifted more than $20,000 to the nonprofit. That program trains dogs with their veteran handlers, a process that typically takes up to 2 years and could cost $25,000 per team. Director Dee Dee Baker says donations like this are crucial to long-term success.
We are investing everything into these dogs and the humans, so we're paying for all of their needs, their food, their crates, their equipment, the veterinary care, and the training. And these veterans are coming to training once a week, every week. So the commitment from the veteran is huge. I have trainers that are traveling around the state to make sure that we can meet those veterans where they're at. So what the governor has donated to us is really going to make a huge impact in that, making sure that we're able to continue serving at that level.
The program has helped match more than 130 veterans with service dogs. For more information on Dog Tag Buddies, you can visit this full story on our website.
Still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2, with the Billings Pain Center set to close, some are turning to a green alternative as they seek treatment. That story coming up next.
And in sports, a former Billings star continues to shine bright for the Grizz on a national stage. The story behind Junior Bergen's rise in just a bit.